Welcome back everyone to another market recap. I'm striving to make my channel the ultimate hub for trading education. As well, I'm going to be covering the market every single day, so definitely stick around. If you want to get better at trading, this is the ultimate place to do so. I have a completely free trading community. You can check that out in my YouTube bio. It's a trading Discord. It's completely free. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. But with that, we're going to talk about the markets today. We have trades from all kinds of different people. We're going to get a lot of diverse perspectives on the market, and we are just going to get better at trading together. Now, if there's anything I talk about in this video that you don't know or you don't understand, definitely check out my short form videos. I have videos on basically everything you could ever possibly need to know. And if you don't find a video in there, definitely watch a video about it from someone else. So, with that, let's talk about the market today. The first thing I want to know is going into the morning, we held this 4-hour fair value gap within premium. And we got SMT with these highs. So I was expecting a move lower to at least take out this low, which was previous week's low. And at least previous day's low or previous week's low. And you can see that's exactly what happened. And we filled the rest of this 4-hour fair value gap within discount. So we got SMT here, came down, took out previous week's low. So you can see that here in more detail on the lower time frame chart. If I measure out the standard deviations of this manipulation move up, you can see how the 2 to 2.5 lines up very, very well with previous week's low. So that is very cool to mention. Then we're going to talk about how you could have possibly caught this reversal. So the easiest way to get a start on catching this trade was to take a trade like Dodgy did. You can see here that he says, missed it because I wasn't logged in, but essentially he uses these two fair value gaps, which are acting as one fair value gap on the higher time frame. And when you get a close above, you can quickly move your stop loss to break even at this high and then target this high for essentially very low risk, since this is such a quick and easy stop loss to break even. Your stop loss would be based off of a close back below these two fair value gaps. So going down the lower time frame, you can see how this would play out. You would enter here. Now, since you swept previous week's low, you could possibly expect a reversal, but the low-hanging fruit would be this 1.5 to 1 RR trade. However, something that I like to talk about is you can actually, when you push into a liquidity pool like this, like previous week's low, you can measure out your standard deviations. And when they line up above key levels like this, like London's highs and Asia's highs, the market oftentimes goes there with an incredibly high probability. So you can see that measuring out this manipulation, that 4 to 4.5 marked out right above Asia and London, and this 2 to 2.5 was marked out right above this high here. So then I had a trade on demo, which I took, and then another trade that my friend took, and it's basically the same trade, but it's not a great trade, which is why I took it on demo. But you can see the one good thing about it is within 5 or less candles, we get this very clean signature in price where we have a 5-minute inverse fair value gap after sweeping previous week's low. And now Sahib's like, avoid long against 15-minute, just my suggestion. And I totally agree. This is a giant fair value gap on the higher time frame. However, with this very clear signature in price after sweeping previous week's low, I felt like it was worth at least trying on demo, especially with a quick and easy stop loss to break even. And you can see that this trade actually did end up working out. After this 5-minute inverse, you could take this up to here. And anyway, I just took that on demo. Didn't really mean much, but you can see that my friend, he instead waited for this fair value gap, external fair value gap, to get closed above, and maybe that was smarter. But in general, this isn't a high probability trade for your main account because you have essentially, what are you targeting? You need some kind of liquidity to target, and you don't really have that. So that was just mostly a fun trade to experiment with. But I think this trade would have been a lot higher probability had I saw it. But you have to be kind of quick on your feet to see this kind of trade. And Dodgy also mentions that you get a very, very good thanks for the liquidity wick. This wick is called, like, he calls it a thanks for the liquidity wick. And essentially when you get a sharp move down and then a move the other direction, that's basically just a giant fake out. And so once that closes, you enter there and then target this high. Very, very nice trade that Dodgy marked out. Now, from here, like I said, my bias switched to bullish because all I knew for sure was that previous week's low and previous day's low would probably get hit. From there, I wasn't too sure, and once I saw us come back up, it became a lot more clear to me that the bias was switching to bullish since we had this giant liquidity pool up here with Asia and London's highs. So I was trying to look for a trade in here. And it wasn't exactly obvious as well. Something I will note is you can see this tweet from Dodgy where he says price action is not that good. And that's the reality of it. Price action wasn't that good. And so in reality, I shouldn't have really even tried to force a trade. I shouldn't have even, if there was nothing here, then there's nothing here. So it is what it is. But I just want to show how, like, when you use standard deviations, you can really get an idea of where the market is trending to, and you can use this for bias. It's really, really nice for bias. So with that, let's talk about some more trades. So FA took a couple trades earlier in the morning. You can see that he had mentioned that we had a 5-minute BPR here, and he was trying to take this down to this low. However, he got stopped out at break even. I don't know when this was. It was earlier in the morning. And then later on, he caught this inverse value gap up to this high here, and he noted that we had equal highs here as well. So nice trade from FA. I'm not sure where those happened in the morning, but I'd have to pull up the chart. Anyway, we then got SMT at these lows, which further confirmed to me that the market had a bullish bias. And if I pull this up from, someone talked about this. Here we got this tweet from a sign of the time, and he notes as well here that we swept out Friday's low, and then got SMT here, and then he's basically showing that the market was drawing higher, right? And so yeah, we got SMT at those lows. And that's what it seemed like to me as well, that the market had reversed off of this Friday's low and was drawing higher at this point. Then you can see that we came back down and started using this 930 open as a support level, and then we pushed back down and started using this 830 open as a support level. And if I turn on the new week opening gap, you can, or that's not the right, that's the new day opening gap. No, that's the new week opening gap. I want the new day opening gap. So something that I noted is that I wasn't sure what was going to happen once we got here. You can see that the market was getting rejected at this new day opening gap right above these highs. And so I wasn't sure if we were going to continue higher here or if we were going to get rejected. I was waiting to see if we were going to break above this, and you can see we then broke above it, and then we did hold this as support, at which point I became very, very confident that we were going to run Asia and London's highs, especially because if you measure out that manipulation move, you can see how it becomes very, very clear that this is the market where the market is drawing towards. And you can see that especially clear right here when this -2 gets hit perfectly, and then we get that retracement. So I was looking for some kind of entry to target these highs. So I ended up taking this on my eval. I will show you this in just a second. I said I'm probably gonna try and take this trade. Essentially what I wanted was I wanted to just get a trade to Asia and London's highs, and so I was looking for a close above these two fair value gaps. Now you can see we got that right here, and so I was simply looking to target this liquidity pool, and you can see that this actually did end up working out pretty well. This was a 1-to-1 trade. I was simply just looking to see this get hit, but what happened was I moved my stop loss to break even at this high to be extra safe. Stop loss to break even got hit, and then I got stopped out at break even, and then you can see we went straight to that high. So I'm not sure if that was a good trade or a bad trade. One of you guys is going to have to let me know what you guys think. But one thing that I think that was concerning is that the 5-minute did not close above these two for value gaps, and the 3-minute did. And I didn't see that the 5-minute did not close above. So that was honestly, that was probably the biggest red flag, and that was one of the biggest reasons why we probably did not go and run those highs as fast as I wanted to see it happen. But you can see how, like, once you get a close above fair value gaps like this, the market will often continue up and then go to that draw on liquidity. So anyway, as well, you can note that, like, this V-shaped signature in price is a very, very strong signature in price, and we then went all the way back up to London and Asia's highs. So looking at some more trades for more people, we had a lot of, okay, first let's mark out this. So this guy took this on the S&P, and this would have been a great trade. I would have liked to take this trade, but we did not get the same thing occur on the NASDAQ as we did the S&P. So we had this fair value gap here when it closed above. That would have been a great entry, but we didn't get that on the NASDAQ. And so you can see here that he's talking about, essentially there was a fair value gap here on the S&P. You can see we do not have that on the NASDAQ, so it didn't really make sense to trade. But I was bullish going in here, and I tried to take a trade in here, and honestly, I shouldn't have tried to take a trade in here. It was just choppy price action, but I tried to take a trade off of this 30-second fair value gap after we got the SMT, and then pushing off these levels here. I was waiting for this to get closed above, just to try it out. I don't really know why I did this, but I knew for sure that the market was drawing higher, right? I knew that we were drawing up towards Asia and London. So I thought I would try this. In hindsight, this isn't great price action. You can see inverse fair value gaps not really being respected, and the market's just chopping around. So this wasn't really good price action to really take a trade in. But I tried this, and it ended up working out really, really well. I ended up getting a 4-to-1 risk reward trade or something like that. I took 2 contracts off here, and I took 2 more off here. But man, I honestly regret taking that trade. I don't think it was that good, and that's the lessons that come with trading every single day. You get a little bit better every single day. So with that, let's see if there's anyone else that said anything. We have Algo who talked about the stat map. Essentially, we hit this daily distribution level, and then we hit the opposing daily distribution level. I'm not sure how you could have used that, but that's something that happened. And then a lot of people took this, where you had, you had a close above this fair value gap, and this happened at like 12. And I believe this happened here, but where did this happen? It happened somewhere in here. But for me at this point, we had already taken our draw on liquidity, so I wasn't too sure we were going to keep going higher. I think that about covers it for today. I hope I just keep getting better at making these videos. Let me know what I can improve, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.